In the eyes of many, Pakistan is perceived as male as a place can be. The land of the pure, with its mighty military, its strong nuclear power, and its terrorist attacks. An Islamic republic with conservative family structures, a country ranked by the World Economic Forum second last in gender equality, just above Yemen. A place where public space is mostly occupied by men. And a place where the young generation brags about being the third sexiest on the planet, with the Starboy song from The Weeknd being about to replace the national anthem. So yes, Pakistan is male. Yet, as always, there could not be a single story. This bravado facade seemed a little too loudly proclaimed to be completely true. So I embarked on a quest around the country in order to dig deeper and to understand better the more complex heart of Pakistani men. The perks and the challenges of masculinity, and the honest conversation we were bound to have about it. So I started at the epicenter of it, the old city of Lahore.
मर्द आपको पता है मर्द का नाम ही मजबूती है तो ये चीज़ मर्द के लिए तो बनी है
क्यों ज़रूरी है हाँ जी उसकी वजह ये है कि वो मेंटली फिजिकली जो है वो और सेक्सुअली जो है स्ट्रॉन्ग होंगे इस गेम से
There are different masculinities. Bengali masculinity is different. A Bengali man is happily singing Tagore songs, being emotional, whereas the Punjabi masculinity or the Pathan masculinity here, they're very, very different.
Somebody with a mustache, somebody wielding a gandasa, somebody with sleeves rolled up, wearing a dhoti, kameez. I mean, the biggest for me as a Punjabi would be Sultan Rahi. He was an actor, he was the sort of Punjabi action hero. As a protector of his family's honor, so if he feels a slight on the female members of his family, he is expected to play the role of aggressor or play the role of defender or play some role which could even get violent.
If you look at most of our ads and most of our movies and just go through any of our recent movies, you'd see that all of the roles that men are playing just reinforce how men currently are. So all these ads talking about insurance, they focus on, oh, the man, and the man needs to guarantee his, because, he's the person in the family who's securing it. There's this movie, Ye Jawani Phir Nahi Aani. And before it came out, I read this review of it. I didn't go see the movie. Everybody was raving about it. They said, this is great, it's a comedy movie. You should all talk about it. So I went to watch the movie. The movie was hilarious. It was really funny. But what I saw in that movie was these three guys who are sick of their overbearing women, and they want to go out and they go have a party in, Malaysia or someplace, and that's a great vacation, and they run into this sexually liberated woman, who's wearing all these clothes that their wives don't wear. And they're terrified of their horrible wives. And in the end, the wives find out and they get angry at them, but then they forgive them because they're wives.
They curate this image of a man as somebody who just smiles in the face of danger or has a beard and is just not vulnerable ever.
The Pakistani man has a strong facade of bravery, of being the protector, the hero, and this is a role which both religion and culture has sort of put him in.
The females of the household will be expected to serve them food. They will be expected to go to the kitchen, heat the food for them.
They're told all their lives, you're better than the women, you're more special, you deserve everything, even the things you don't deserve, you have to, whatever you ask for, you're going to have, you have the right to ask for whatever you want. So I feel that when it translates into adulthood, what they do is that for example, if they're not successful at their career or their job or getting a girl that they want or, you know, marriage or multiple things, I feel like men take rejection really, really hard.
Because patriarchy gives them a lot of power and privileges and resources and decision making. So if I was a man, this will not be my priority. Like as a upper class woman, I'm not as passionate about class issues because there I'm the exploiter. I'm very passionate on gender issues because I am the, you know, gender which is not happy. So I understand men. You know, they are only 50% of the world. 99% of the Supreme Court judges all over the world are men. 99% of High Court judges are men. Vice Chancellors, Nobel Prize winners, corporate leaders, 84% are men all over the world. Only 50%.
If you were to go through a VIP screening at an airport and you're somebody famous, and suddenly the people at the airport asked you, "I'm sorry, sir, can you please step aside? We need to check you." And you would say, "Are you kidding me? You do know who I am?"
The image of masculinity is that the man is running the house. He is the primary bread earner. He is the one who takes the decisions. He is the protector. So wherever in either of these things he feels that no, this is being taken away from me, is when the insecurity sort of kicks in.
The issue is really that men are shackled by certain societal expectations.
Young brothers and cousins who would like to do music, they have to become engineers. They like to write poetry. They have to become doctors.
I feel like there's a constant pressure on him, and not just to supply the basics in the house, but like if the wife wants to go shopping or, you know, somebody needs something else or the kids' education, it's like, I mean, come on, that's a really huge burden to be on one person, you know?
I think the first word that a child hears is no, don't do this. I think that is what the child grows up with. If it's a boy, you can't cry, you're not to cry, you're not to do this, you can't feel. So the first thing is that they are made to, you know, disconnect with their feelings.
Men do not open up because masculinity, as it's come to define now, is all about bravado, is all about feeling no pain. There's a very famous line from an Indian movie, "Mard ko dard nahi hota, man feels no pain."
कि मर्दों को दर्द नहीं होता होता है
Biologically and technically it's not possible, but according to the perceptions they think that men can't feel pain. So I think that is why more men are dying due to terrorism, more men are dying due to wars. I mean, men are not violent, they are made violent. If as a child you are not supposed to share your thing, then how will you understand the pain of others when you grow up?
The man box in Pakistan is associated with power, authoritative approach, and a lot of responsibilities, and obviously the personality or aroma, which is very strong. And you know, so if somebody is like not matching with the standards of that man box, it definitely creates problem for them.
When we try to go out of that box, being a transgender person, it means that we are losing that respect.
First of all, masculinity is a social definition. It is gendering. It's nothing to do with the biology of men. All men are not masculine, and some women in today's world trying to get power in this existing system are becoming masculine.
लड़कियों के साथ बैठी हूँ, लड़कियाँ आई हैं मेरे घर में बैठी, मैं दुल्हन बन के बैठ गई हूँ, सुर्खी बना लगा के। बाहर से मेरे भाई आते थे, मुझे मारने लग जाते थे, मैं तंग आ जाती थी इन चीज़ों से। पहली मुझे साइमा मिली, मैं उसके साथ अपनी दुनिया में आ गई थी, छोड़ दिया था मैंने। अपने ख्वाजा सराम में रहती हूँ, बहुत खुश हूँ, अपनी ज़िंदगी जी रही हूँ, इंजॉय कर रही हूँ।
I was taught that if you speak about your weaknesses, that means you are not a man enough. And being a man enough was very important. Because if you're a man and you're not a man enough, you are in trouble.
There is no acceptability of truth in our society. And when I say truth, truth is your truth. If it doesn't go with the mindset of the society, you are condemned, you are totally taken out, you are an outcast.
We are afraid of being judged by other men of the clan, of the tribe. We can't be seen as weak.
I think the most difficult part for men, according to me, you can't cry. And I think that is just killing them. We women can cry it all out. We women go to friends and say da 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 da, catharsis all the time. Men have no catharsis because masculinity does not allow you to cry.
When you were playing sports, you didn't talk about how painful something was, or you didn't even talk about if you had lost a loved one, or if you had if you broke up with a girlfriend, and it wasn't something that you would go to your men for solace, or your male friends. They would say, hey, oh, get over it.
But if you'll ask most of us to be expressive, we can't. Even if we try to, we can do this experiment right here. That I can send a I can send a message that I am depressed in a WhatsApp group where I have all the male friends, and the reply will come in this order: that go kill yourself, and followed by more creative ways to kill yourself. From my family to my girlfriend to my friends, when somebody tells me that they need to discuss an issue, I start getting panic attacks. So we the kind of people who are like, tell me the issue, we'll sort it out. We cannot discuss it. The two-way argument about an issue, no. No matter how, no matter what it takes to do it. But talking about it is no. I really want to do it, but I can't.
Men are afraid of most, I think, are of their emotions and expressing them, getting in touch with them. They think that they would lose control. And again, the control is something that we as a nation are control freaks. We need to control everything in our lives.
So with men, I feel the same way too, that sometimes they want to talk about their feelings. Number one, they're not used to. Number two, even if they want to, if you haven't been doing it all your life, it's hard to be emotionally expressive. So, it can become a psychological problem. It can lead to aggression. It can lead to depression. So many things. I mean, it's like being trapped all the time.
I've grown up in a household where I've always been taught to express myself, my emotions, whatever I'm feeling, just get it out and just be in touch with it. And that is one of the biggest reasons why I am who I am today. And I'm not afraid to embrace emotion or talk about it or just about anything. But for most men, they are so afraid of what lies inside of them that they repress it, they push it away. So how will they know what happiness is? How will they know what any tangible emotion is? I mean, how will they know the extent to which emotions are important, what make us human? It's sort of dehumanizing what men do to themselves over here.
1 million people commit suicide every year, not in Pakistan, in the entire world. And out of those 1 million people, 7 lakh are men. And 90% of the suicides are because of depression. And why is no one talking about it? It's a bigger issue than many other problems that we talk about very often. And I think more men are committing suicides, more men are not talking about their problems because they are men. If they were allowed to cry, if they were allowed to share their feelings, if they were allowed to show their inner side to others and not being threatened in return, then I think this situation could have been avoided. So as a man, I feel very concerned about other men who live in this society, who are wearing this mask, who are in the man box, where you can't express yourself, where you can't share your good and bad feelings. You have to be like a robot all the time.
There is a mask on every person, on every man here. You have to take it off and peel it off, I would say, and show your real skin.
ये नहीं पता होता कि बाहर क्या है अंदर क्या है, ये बिल्कुल नहीं पता चलता. घर में कुछ और होता है, बाहर कुछ और होता है. बाहर के लोगों के सामने बिल्कुल मीठे होते हैं, हम लोग बहुत शरीफ अच्छे हैं, लेकिन घर के अंदर जो हैं, जो घर के अफराद हैं, वो तंग होते हैं उनसे.
Toxic masculinity would be where you want to dominate, you want to control. You are the center of the universe. That's what toxicity is all about. And it's not only linked to terrorism, I feel. Everything which is plaguing this world today, everything, toxic masculinity, hegemonic masculinity, dominant masculinity is behind it. I call it love of power. Bush loved his power, so he could just bomb Afghanistan. The whole world said, Bush, don't do it. Now we have something, the bush has become a huge tree and now it's called Donald Trump. Just look at his language of no caring, no nurturing, no loving. It is fear, hatred, violence. Fear, hatred, violence. So all that is destroying the universe.
Mostly men, when you ask them why you did this act of violence, why were you into it, the moment they will respond to you will come to realize that there is something that they related with their identity.
Pakistan as a nation, we had a huge trauma when at birth. So we were born with trauma, with the whole partition/independence, and hearts were broken, scars were made, body, mind, soul, and we never really dealt with that.
The biggest anxiety of our state in general is that Pakistani identity is just so confused.
The Sayyids, we want to be the Prophet's children and we want to come from Arabia. And everybody that I've asked always says that, oh, but our ancestors came from the Arab countries and they were either the descendants of the Prophet or the Hazrat Umar, or, they connect themselves to the Arabs. And nobody says that, we were the people of this land. I mean, I feel if a nation, kind of disconnects from who they are, from the land that they're living, breathing, eating from, to a land that doesn't even want to own them, doesn't want to have anything to do with them. I mean, how sad would people be?
A lot of confusion, and with confusion comes a lot of desperateness, a lot of frustration, because if you're not willing to, it's like a little mouse trapped in a maze.
If you look a bit more deeply, patriarchy is also messing up your lives, not allowing you to be free.
But when it comes to healthy ideas of how to show your emotions, crying, telling your children that you love them. Fathers and children often have really distant relationships because the mother is the one who's supposed to nurture. So I think what that does is it damages masculinity in the long run, because you are not allowing men to have a full human experience that includes all of these different shades of emotions.
So this discussion that involve men's problems, men's issues, should be given more space. And I think it will be given more space because eventually every issue is linked. I mean, we don't live a single issue life.
Unless women are free and capable, you cannot be free. Because we don't live in two separate worlds. We have to be together. At the moment, both men and women are suffering in patriarchy.
But I think when they are more authentic and when they can talk about the feeling, the connection between the man and woman is so much stronger as well. They would be kinder, they would be more understanding. Things around the society would change.
There was a slogan UN Women gave 2 years ago. He for she. We didn't like it at all. we thought again is patronizing. Again, the man is going to protect she, whereas the time is demanding that he for he.
जब मेरा दिल खफा होता है तो मैं दोस्तों को नहीं बता सकता।
क्यों नहीं बता सकते?
मैम जी इस तरह शर्म आती है।
Men don't have those spaces where they can confide, where they can really talk about their senses of anxiety and fears. And often when they do so, they might reach out to other women because they don't find men in that exact environment.
In Pakistan, I want to open a listening school. I want to teach people how to listen to each other. So when you're listening, you're letting go of labels. You're letting go of prejudices, biases. You learn to listen to the real you. And so I'm not just saying listen to the other person, I'm also saying listening to your little child in there, listening to your authentic self. When you are emotional and vulnerable, you are powerful because you've embraced who you really are. And so, and if you have embraced and you're okay, then nobody can make you say that you're not okay.
Like providing the space to men to reflect and to really look into their own self and to their own nature basically.
Men have to create spaces to talk about themselves, like we women.
I am confident that in Pakistan at least there are quite a few men who want to have that conversation. We need other men to encourage them and say it's okay to have that conversation.
Is it possible for a man to really fit into that criteria? And what is the cost for that? So that kind of reflection really provide them an opportunity and see, okay, yes, this is a big cost they are paying to be a real man. But in generally, I feel that reflection and that opportunity is missing.
The core is a happy core, you see. The core is beautiful, happy, healthy, capable of self-actualization. And so in therapy, we aim to peel off the onion layer by layer and get to the core.
Be more okay with each other being vulnerable. So not judge. If a man in your company is prone to showing more emotion or expressing love, do not demonize him for that. Do not judge him for that.
Once I took a step back, sort of saw that it wasn't really necessary. It was just the way societies are organized. But I can find my way around it. I don't have to do it. I don't know, I feel like a much more liberated person. I feel a lot less stress and tension in my life because of that.
Women are today not looking for masters, husbands, controllers in marriage. We are looking for life partners. And we only want life partners who respect us and who love us. And love means caring, love means nurturing. And that they need to see how they are earning for their families. Do they have time for their children? And if you don't have time for your children and your families, then you're just a machine to earn money, and that's a pathetic life.
I think what's going to be very important is to begin to see more male role models who actually share work both outside the house but also in the house. Taking care, being good parents. Men have as much of a responsibility in child care as women do, or elderly care, but that doesn't happen. But as they begin to take more of that role, I think they begin to also feel that this is something they would like to be a part of. And I think many men who have discovered that, I think, have realized that that makes them a better person.
A family is the most important unit of the society. And in the society, father has a very important role to play. So do mothers. But and as an important unit of the society, the father-daughter relation is one of the most beautiful outcomes of this unit. Independent and strong. That is how I see my daughters, and that is how I wish that they were, and that is how they have turned out to be. I've never felt the need or I've never missed a son. I think they are my strength. They have made me a better human being, I think. That is what I feel.
As a parent who's tried to raise kinder or more empathetic kids, I think first of all, what needs to be changed is that respect has to go both ways. And that is something that I have most encountered missing in Pakistan.
So reaching through schools and talking about gender. Second, reaching homes through media.
Mainstreaming these concepts of gender and masculinities into our education curriculum, particularly that we teach our young kids at a very young age.
So if your boy wants to play with a doll, let him play with a doll. If your girl wants to play with something else, let her play. Let them channel their creativity. So I think that masculinity and femininity are strengths. So if you let your children take those strengths up without thinking that there's something wrong with them or it's challenging their gender, I think number one, they will excel at what they do because you're really letting them explore themselves, right?
I'd have to say that in terms of current role models that are living, I'd say Barack Obama probably is the one that closest comes to mind. And the reason for that is he's very open and inclusive in terms of how he includes his family in his life. So his kids, his wife, and I think that is actually a good definition of somebody who is masculine.
If we talk about India, for instance, we know Amar Khan is doing a great job. I mean, the kind of show he does, I mean, purely talking, I mean, shaking the patriarchal values and masculinity. So in Pakistan, I think we do not find really that public figures, the VIPs and the big names, the icons, who come up and say, I mean, I feel proud to be a feminist.
There are men like myself who believe in equality, who believe in justice, who believe in equal rights, who believe more in human values than these identities shaped based on our gender.
I'm just getting excited by the idea of a society where men are more in touch with who they are. They know the reasons why they're doing the things they do, and what beautiful creatures they would be then.